Welcome to Creative Madness.
Hey YouTube Nation, the Homemade Game Guru is back, and this is going to be a vlog video. Sorry, I'm not making anything in this one, next video. But in this video, I want to talk about my experience of being with Fullscreen for the past year, and that I've ended my contract with them. I'm independent again, and I just want to give you guys my experience and why I decided to leave Fullscreen. Now, this is not going to be a critique about all multi-channel networks, because I know there's a ton of them, like Maker and Machinima and Broadband, and there's a whole ton of them out there, and it seems like new ones are popping up all the time. But this is more specifically about Fullscreen, which is also one of the biggest in the world, and why I ultimately felt that it was time to go on my own, but also tell you why I joined in the first place. And before I progress on, I just want to say thank you to my viewers, supporters, and subscribers. I finally hit the 10,000 subscriber mark, and I have over 4.5 million views worldwide, with my subscriber base in all over the world. And so I really thank you guys for sticking around and watching my videos and supporting what I do. I love YouTube for this fact that I can create and just do what my skill set is, which is just make insane stuff out of cardboard, and that there's an audience out there that appreciates that. So thank you very much, and you know more Cardboard Creative Madness is coming. Now, to start this video, I'm actually going to start at the end, which is leaving a network. And the reason why I'm starting with about the ease that I had on leaving Fullscreen is because I've seen a lot of videos and I've read a lot of blogs and just pieces about people's difficulties in leaving not only Fullscreen but other multi-channel networks. And for me, it was very easy leaving Fullscreen. And it tells you in the contract to give them 1 month notice before leaving. And to go a step further, I gave Fullscreen 3 weeks notice before I decided to leave. And I emailed support at fullscreen.net or .com, it's one of the two. Bill got back in touch with me, and it was a very smooth transition. The only hiccup, and this is my advice to you guys beyond, again, what's in your contract, is that the new feature that YouTube has enabled for us YouTubers, fan funding, so individual fans and subscribers could give right directly to us. Because of that new feature, you need to disable it if you enabled it while you were with the multi-channel network. I'm not sure exactly why or what causes the complication, but it still keeps you linked even if the multi-channel network agrees to terminate. And I got an email from them because my contract ended on the 16th of January, and by the 18th I was still attached to them, but they emailed me and told me that fan funding is still enabled and I have to disable it. And then once disabled and the break is finalized, then I can enable it for myself. So just give them a month's notice, turn off fan funding, and the last thing you need to realize is that once you're independent again and you're earning purely from YouTube, you have to monetize all your videos from scratch again, every single one of them. And I have over 100 videos. The benefit in this is that it gave me the time to really sit there and think about which videos of mine needed to be monetized again. I have about 114 videos. All 114 didn't need to be monetized. I had to be realistic and look at what videos actually produce enough views and interest every day in order to justify adding the ads to make money, and which videos just do not produce enough views to really be substantial. It had to be a business decision. So it really got me to think and sit there, and I spent over an hour remonetizing all my videos again. But for you guys out there who are vloggers or what have you, and you have over 1,000 videos, just realize that when that contract's done, you have to re-monetize every single one of them over again, and set up the, not only monetize, but also set up the type of ad that you want. So at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, if you want it to be skippable, or the ones that can't be skipped, and all that kind of good stuff. So just giving you full warning on that. Okay, so the meat and potatoes. Why on earth did I join Fullscreen in the first place? One of the biggest discussion points about multi-channel networks is, why on earth would you cough up 20 or 30% of your earnings just for them to represent you? And the way I equate it, the way I rationalize it to this day, back then and to this day, is that multi-channel networks act like agents. It could be a literary agent or a sports agent. The way that they market themselves, they don't use the term agent, but that's exactly how they're marketing themselves. That, like any agent, they take a percentage of your money, and in return, they produce more avenues and more opportunities for you to make more revenue, more sponsorships, just more ways to make money. So in the end, that 70% you're making of your money is more than what you're making when you're making 100%. That's the idea. Now you can negotiate with these guys on the terms. You can negotiate like I did. My term ended at 1 year. Originally Fullscreen wanted 2 years. Whenever they come to you and try to pitch to you, they try to pitch 2 years. I told them I'm only going to do 1 year. You make me happy in 1 year, I'll gladly renew my contract for another year or even 2 years. So you could always tell them that you want only 1 year. You could also negotiate the percentage that I paid. Now I agreed to the straight 30-70. If you have enough subscribers and your channel is big enough, you can negotiate for 20%, and in rare cases I've heard a 10-90 split. But you really have to have a big YouTube channel for them to even go with that. And again, as a business person, I understand they need to make money. So I didn't try to push the 90-10. I didn't even push the 80-20. It's like, okay, I'll take 70%, you take 30%, but you make sure you earn that 30%. And this is ultimately the culmination of what I'm going to bring up here. So let's use a simple number like $100. Let's just say your YouTube channel brings in $100 a month from Google ads through YouTube. When you sign up to Fullscreen, as an example, you expect to still make that $100 and more. So that 70% you're getting, what you're really expecting is for them to boost up your CPC, boost up opportunities for sponsorship and endorsements. So you're making bare minimum $100, but really what you've made is $143 and then some. So therefore, when they take out their 30% of that $143, you're still making your $100, because of course you don't want to sign up to these guys and make less money. Now that happens to a lot of people out there, but the whole pitch is that will increase your CPC, will increase your the amount of opportunities you can get with sponsorship and endorsements and crowdfunding and all that stuff. So at the end, per month, you're making that bare minimum 100 that you're always making and more, and that's what I fully expected. I don't mind giving you 30%, but I expect to still make that lower threshold that I was making before, or I should say the higher threshold I had before, but that now becomes a low threshold. I'm going to go up from there. Now the big part of the pitch is the recruiter, and pretty much all of you who are watching this video at one time or another has had some kind of multi-channel network recruiter come after you. They don't care if you have 5 subscribers or 5,000 or 50,000 subscribers. Everyone has been approached by a recruiter. Many of you will already know this, but these recruiters don't actually work for the multi-channel networks that they are trying to get you to join. Most of them are just fellow YouTubers. They just want to make some extra money. And how it works is when you join this, multi-channel network, you will actually get the same information these recruiters do, and that is based on the amount of subscribers the channel has. There's a dollar value. So at the time when I joined Fullscreen, I had about, I think, 7,000 subscribers. So I had a $100 value put onto my channel. Now that I'm over 10,000 subscribers, there's a $250 value on my channel. Every channel has a certain value to it. So the recruiter who came after me, very articulate, very amazing to talk to. Any question I had before I joined, he emailed me back in like no time, always answered all my questions. But of course, after I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to join Fullscreen, my recruiter, the guy who told me that I could contact him at any time for questions, he'll always be there. The minute that the ink was dry, or the cyber ink I should say, since the contracts are all online, I never heard from the man again. He was gone. I emailed him, wouldn't just email just to ask general questions. Now that was part of Fullscreen. Man, he sent me back one email return that was to contact someone within Fullscreen, and since then I never heard from the man again. So ultimately, he made his $100 off of me and moved on to the next person. So don't think that the recruiter who's coming after you, giving you the beautiful sales speech and how they're there for you throughout the whole process, most likely they're not. Some of these recruiters might work for the actual multi-channel network, but realistically, most are just fellow YouTubers who are trying to make a buck, and you have a certain value to you, and once you sign, you'll never hear from that recruiter again because they did their job, they got their piece, and they're moving on to do other things. So just an FYI for you guys. So let me get to the parts of Fullscreen that I liked. Even though I left Fullscreen, there are some things that I liked about them. The one thing I did like, and which I think is great, is their apps. So when you join and they give you your password and you sign into your profile on their website, they have a whole bunch of apps that are beneficial. So they have apps, or the apps are really just links to other websites and other tools you can use to better your channel, because as you learn as you join a multi-channel network is that you just can't sit back and expect them to do all the work. You still have to do a lot of work yourself and use their tools to better your channel. So they have apps and links for deals that they have with, let's say, spreadshirts, so you can make your own promotional t-shirts, even though you could do that on your own too. But they have spreadshirt, they have video blocks, which is for you to get professional video clips to add into your videos. They have music services, so you have access to just a massive library of music to use royalty free, but at least they're there for you to use, and I like that about Fullscreen when I joined. I will also bring up a specific gentleman. His name is Ash, A-S-H, Ash. I found that whenever I had questions or whenever I contacted Fullscreen about anything, a gentleman named Ash would contact me back, always. And I found that this guy contacts everybody on this website if you have a question. There's also a gentleman named Bill. I believe there's a Gord. I'm not too sure about that, but Ash, this guy, no matter what questions you have, he'll eventually be the one to answer you. I don't know where he finds the time or if he has his own YouTube channel, but this man will answer all your questions. And I actually like that fact that there's someone at Fullscreen who's there to give support, so you don't feel totally lost and wondering why no one is talking to you. And I'll actually get to that point about my dislikes. And the last thing I liked was, again, breaking away. It was simple, except for the fan funding issue, the separation and termination of the partnership was very smooth, no complaints. Now, when it comes to why I left Fullscreen and what I ultimately didn't like, there are numerous things, and many of them are not in Fullscreen's complete control. Now, I'll start with the most obvious, which is the earnings. I found that even with the supposed increase in the CPC, which I couldn't really quantify how much I was making per ad, so I can't really tell if they really got me more per click than I had with YouTube. But I found that my earnings didn't really go up. I actually started making less money. My first month was a bit of an adjustment period, so I didn't really make that much, and it was kind of like mid-month. But I found my second month I did make a decent amount, but then it just progressively started going down. And just doing the math myself, because through YouTube you could still keep track of your earnings, I found that I really wasn't making as much as I thought I would. And that, my 70% of my earnings just resulted in me making less money than I did when I was with YouTube as an independent, like most of you are. Now, I really thought that I would make more per click, but again, I found it very difficult to find where the information was on how much I was making per ad. And in your statements, it only states the total amount you made per day, not how much you get per click. I felt that, I agreed to the 70-30 split, but I just wasn't making the money that I thought I was going to make, and only 1 month of the whole year did I make above what I was making when I was an independent with YouTube. Another problem that I felt, and it happened 3 times, I don't know if this happened to anyone else out there who's on Fullscreen, is that there was what I call 0 earning days. It only happened 3 times. Once, and I know one of the months was November. On 3 different occasions, when you're looking at your statement of your earnings on Fullscreen, there were days where there was $0. There has never, ever been a time where I had 0 clicks, 0 earnings. It just never happened. And again, the beauty of YouTube is that you could still see how much you're making on YouTube. YouTube still keeps track of it. So I knew that those 3 days and those 3 different months, there was earnings for those days. Now, to Fullscreen's credit, they did correct the problem. Each time I brought it up, they corrected it. But the fact that there were these 0 income days did bother me. Maybe some of you have gone through that yourself, so always keep track of your earnings. Another thing that I was disappointed in, and this actually is outside of Fullscreen as a company out of their hands, was the community. I know Fullscreen, when I joined up, had over 20,000 channels in their network. And so they give you forums to talk to other YouTubers. And I would put questions out there and also make comments. And I found the interaction with other YouTubers was very minimal. And, if I had questions, again, Ash is the guy answering my questions, or actual Fullscreen employees, not fellow YouTubers. I also found that trying to quantify how many subscribers I gained through the Fullscreen network, I was only able to quantify 10 people. And just because they contacted me, we had some rapport, and they actually didn't contact me by saying, hey man, I subbed you, sub me back, but they're like, yo, I checked out so-and-so video, I loved it, I subscribed. And that was great, but beyond that, it was hard to tell if I gained any other subscribers from this vast network of 20,000 plus channels. And one of the biggest letdowns for me was the guerrilla campaigns. This was one of the strongest selling features of Fullscreen, and I think the recruiter, I don't think he did it on purpose, but I think he misrepresented what guerrilla campaigns were supposed to be. One of the biggest reasons, beyond the increase in revenue, was I want sponsorship. I still hunt for sponsorship to this day. I think it's a great way to promote your channel. And guerrilla campaigns were promoted to me as a way to get sponsors for my channel. So I thought, even if I don't make the Google ad money that I could make, at least there'll be sponsorship opportunities. And hey, you get me a sponsorship opportunity worth thousands of dollars, I have no problems giving you your 30%. And when I finally joined up, for the first 4 months, I didn't get any guerrilla campaigns because for some reason I was ineligible. Then by the 4th month, finally, I got opportunities for guerrilla campaigns, and I finally understood what guerrilla campaigns were all about. And really, guerrilla campaigns, from my perspective, were promoting other people's YouTube channels and making, you know, maybe if you're lucky, a couple, maybe less than $100 out of the deal for promoting someone else's channel on your channel. And I'm not a big fan of this. Not because I don't like promoting other people's YouTube channels, but I was looking for sponsorship. So let's just say, as an example, because I do arts and crafts, I was looking for a sponsor who makes arts and crafts products so I can incorporate them into my videos so it's practical for making the craft and for my viewers to see, okay, if I want to make this, this is the right material I need to make this homemade game guru craft. Instead, I got guerrilla campaigns for random assortments of channels. Many of them are the complete opposite of what I do, and I'm supposed to promote these channels on my channel to my viewers who want to see me make stuff. I was very disappointed in that, and I put that on the recruiter and my own lack of due diligence. I should have looked into that a little bit more, but the guerrilla campaigns were very disappointing for me because what they were offering was not what I thought they were going to offer, which was actual company sponsorships that I can incorporate into my brand of videos that would be beneficial to both of us and produce a good amount of income. So ultimately, that's what led to me deciding at December that's time to end my time with Fullscreen. No real community support. The earnings just weren't there. The guerrilla campaigns were disappointing. You know, it was just a culmination of these things, and I just decided, and of course the 0 earning days, which again were corrected, but I just wasn't happy that was happening. And putting these together, I just thought, you know what, it just doesn't make sense for me to continue on. And one other thing that really put the nail in the coffin for my exit from Fullscreen is that I had the opportunity to meet with some great YouTubers on my own accord, on my own time. Contacted them, we had great conversations. Some of them I met in person, they're fellow Canadians, and their channels are doing amazing, like 50,000 subscribers, 80,000, 100,000 subscribers, and they told me about their journey and what they've done. None of them are with multi-channel networks. It's just hard work, doing the legwork yourself and setting up deals yourself and sponsorship deals yourself in order to make more money. And I was like, you know what, that makes sense. Why put your dreams and your ambitions and your income in other people's hands when you could do it yourself and control the process? So come January, I ended my contract with Fullscreen, and now I'm happy to be on my own. And I'm putting this out there for every multi-channel network because it seems like you guys know automatically when someone leaves a multi-channel network. I've already gotten 5 messages from different multi-channel networks who want me to join them now. And I'm telling you all, please do not contact me. I have nothing against your business, and I know this business model does work for others. You don't have Disney buying out a multi-channel network, or you don't get 20,000 people joining you because you're not producing good results. Results vary. So for me, the result wasn't there, but for other people, the results would be there. So don't take my word as completely hating on multi-channel networks, because there are those out there who benefit and get exactly what they want from these multi-channel networks. But for me personally, I'm done. I'd rather do this myself, be independent, and work my butt off to make sure that the Homemade Game Guru grows and gets more sponsorship opportunities and more income through Google. So please guys, I'm not interested. Stop contacting me. I'm not giving you your $250 by signing up. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make some crazy cardboard crafts like my Avengers bookcase here for my subscriber base. So I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. And please get a discussion going. Let me know what you think. Let me know your experiences with Fullscreen or other multi-channel networks. If you have other questions that I haven't addressed in this video, shoot them out. And you know, I'm pretty good with responding back to my subscribers and those who comment to my video. And you know, I'll try to give you the best answer I can. And as I said, I'm not damning or putting down multi-channel networks. It might work for you, but ultimately you got to figure out what you need for your channel and what your expectations are, and go beyond the recruiter. Talk to the actual business itself and figure out if they can deliver to you what you expect. So I'm the Homemade Game Guru. Take care, guys. And you know, more cardboard graded madness is coming soon.